Welcome back to another episode of Look What Jess Found. This is episode 238, and it's going to be dedicated to our newest member, Tina. Welcome, Tina. Now, Tina and the other members get to watch this video today, August 29th. All other subscribers get to watch the video when it is uploaded, which will be September 16th. Now, this is also a very special video. This is almost like a double, thank you video, because this is the penny roll from yesterday's special video that I put out, which was the 28th. If you go to August 28th, you'll see the special video for the pennies that I got from the M&T Bank. And I want to say thank you to the ladies from the M&T Bank also, who this video could not be possible without. Forget about it, man. I mean, the support that I'm getting is unreal, and that's the bottom line. I'm so happy. I don't want to get into my whole personal thing, but it means a lot to me. If you're a member and you've watched my members only videos, you know some personal information about me, and Anyway, so let's get on with it. So if you watched the video from yesterday being August 28th, you'll know that. Okay, so out here in Pennsylvania, right? I don't know what it's like in other states, but here in Pennsylvania, and you can see Abbott, Coin Counter, Greenwich, Connecticut. I've learned that these penny rolls, they're older penny rolls, right? So you can't just. I've never seen these in the store, right? So when I see these penny rolls, I think newer, older pennies, copper pennies. And I wanted to go through some of them yesterday. Oh my God, come on. Okay. I wanted to go through some of them yesterday, see how nice we can get these out. And the first penny was a wheat cent. Not the first penny. The first, I want to make sure it wasn't a, what's the word I'm looking for? A cherry picked roll, right? So if you watched the video yesterday, you'll notice that I sampled a couple of the penny rolls, and this was one of the. I sampled just a few pennies just to make sure that there was copper in it, right? Because if this penny roll would have had all zinc, I would have known it was a cherry picked roll. And I'm not going to go through it, if there was zero copper in it, I'd probably just throw it in with the rest of my zinc cents that I send back to the bank. But with the first few pennies that I got, one of them was this 1945 wheat cent. And I'm going to put it to the side to the end, and we'll look at it closely at the end, because it's I don't know, I very hardly ever get wheat cents, and we'll check at the end for anything that we're going to look for, that we might do research on, or key varieties or something. We'll go to the end. Obviously, if this is all, I don't think this is all zinc. Let me look at this one. Oh, I mean all copper. Sorry, I'm messing up a little bit today. Wow, look at that. All right, so that's at the end too. So right, the beginning of the roll. See, this might be all copper. So I'm doing something new now. If there's any pennies that need to be researched, I'm putting them to the side for a special video or the next episode or something like that. I really don't want to bog down the flow of the video with too much research. And these beautiful copper pennies, it's so easy to get bogged down for research. Now, here goes another 77. Look at this. Having my coffee this morning. All right. Look at this. So what I'm doing, right? So for those if Tina's watching this video, and whoever might be new to the channel, let me explain what I'm doing. Obviously, I have a penny roll, right? And this is penny roll hunting, penny coin roll hunting. And there's two types of penny rolls. There's the ones that are wrapped by the customer, and then there's the ones that you get from the Federal Reserve or a special bank or whatever. And they come in those white rolls with the little red lettering on it. So I do those every once in a while, but really they're not my favorite. They're usually all zinc. And they're kind of boring. See, like this one here, it looks like it has a doubling on the eye. Now, when I say doubling, I'm using the term very loosely. Okay? Again, it's not doubling. It's post mint damage, or it looks like post mint damage actually, meaning that it wasn't done at the mint, and it's not an error. Okay, so that's, and I'm going to use this video I'm going to explain the channel in this video. Tina might know, she might not know, and then other people might know, they might not know. So I do mostly, look at this, man. What a super duper 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 roll this was. We got a Canadian. A 62 Canadian. I think this might be the oldest Canadian I ever found. And so this will go, now this will go down here, and that'll go up here. Okay. So what I do is, first of all, I keep all the copper, right? So that's number one. When I say keep all the copper, I mean I don't send any copper back to the bank. Right? And one of the things that I always recommend to everyone is never send copper back to the bank unless it's my bank. If you're a member at one of my branches, then of course, well, that's not true. I'm being facetious, sarcastic. Don't send any copper back to the bank. It doesn't matter. That's an AU penny. The other one was an M. Okay, we'll get into that in a second. So number one, keep all your copper, right? Okay, we got that down. 1970. I don't see too many 1970s. This is a beauty. You see the little marks up here on the top. I don't know if that's dirt. It's not strong enough for me to consider it a strike error. But I'll put that with the MS pennies. Okay, so then what I do is, I'm going to show you what I do with these. Look at this beautiful, absolutely stunning penny, right? Let me make sure that's not a strike up there. I think that's just dirt, yeah. This one is misaligned die, right? It's a misaligned die. It's a beautiful copper penny. I'm not sure if it has any value. I don't think it does, but I'm going to put it here. And that's going to be my MS pennies. We have an AUs. So I'm going to show you what I do. I've shown this in other videos. Is coins that I consider to be mint state, I put here. Coins that I consider to be AU condition, I'll put here. Fine condition, I'll put here. And heavily circulated, I'll put here. And then they'll go into these rolls. MS, AU, fine copper, and 83. The 83s I put all together and they go back to the bank. All of these I save. These two go into the basement. These two go into a special box that I have, because these can be graded. I mean, they could both be graded, but I wouldn't grade an AU because they're not, on condition alone, probably not too much valuable unless it's a very rare coin. Then I don't put rare coins in here or error coins in here. These are basically to be sold. These are investment coins. These 4 rolls are investment coins. My copper, my fines, my AU and my MS. These are investment coins. And I'm kind of trying to teach some of the subscribers, viewers who don't understand the value of some of the pennies you can get from the bank, how you can turn them into money. Now, pennies like the ones we just found, this is a gradable condition penny. There's something called conservation, which I'm not going to get into here. It's different than cleaning. It's kind of like cleaning, but it's done in a certain way not to damage the coin. And you could take some of these, some of them might need conservation, and you could send them in to get graded. Could. Now, grading is a whole nother process. It's much more advanced and not something I'm going to cover in this channel, maybe not for a long time, not in any detail anyway. So these pennies will go in here. This AU penny will go in here. As long as I think it's AU, it's a little dark. It might go into the fine row. It's dark, but it's nice. We'll see. That might go into the fine row. Then it'll go from here to here. Okay, so I just want to show you that for those who are new, to understand what it is that I'm doing with the copper pennies and the zincs. And then down here, this row here will be for my short videos, and this row will be for any pennies that I'm going to do or coins that I'm going to do research on. Okay, so that's a long explanation, but if you're new, or if you haven't watched all my videos, I mean, you should watch all my videos. There's only 238 at this point. And when I say watch my videos, I'm talking about the long format version, right? Which is easy. You could just go into the playlist and you could watch them. Just go into pennies. And then of course there's shorts, but they have thousands of shorts and they take care of themselves. I don't even think about the short videos. They're like a monster onto their own. There's people with billions of people with cell phones, and they're just clicking and zipping through stuff. But it's the long format videos that you want to watch to really understand what I'm doing on this channel. And you can see the evolution of how I've learned how to penny roll hunt from watching the videos from the beginning. So with that out of the way, we can get back to see, that to me that looks like some doubling, but it could be they call it a spread, meaning that for whatever reason the coin is spread to one of the directions. In this case, it's to the south. And that could give the coin a certain variety, error variety. It could. So if I want to look into it, what I'll do is I'll put it in the other pile for research. See if it has a lamination error. If it does, it's weak. But I'll be honest with you, even though it might have, I'll see. I'll put it at the top. We'll see. I mean, I might have to do another video on it. Like I said, a whole separate video if we get too many research pennies. But so far, it appears as if this whole, I'll put that with the fines. And I think I'm going to put this one back with I'm going to put this with the fines. No. Yeah, I'm going to put that with the fines also. It's kind of, has too many black spots on it. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. You can see the strike is, I think that's a strike. Let me look. So I also use a loop. This is my favorite loop. I might have a very weak strike through, excuse me, a die clash, but I'm not going to hold on to it. Okay, so now we got that out of the way. All these pennies, well, not all these pennies, the last penny, this penny, and all these pennies that are in this kind of condition that look pretty close to like if they were just made yesterday. Most of these pennies would grade MS, meaning mint state. What is? But I can't remember what mint state starts at. If it look at this, we got another. I'm gonna put that with the other wheat set. Well, you know what? We got the 45. Let's look at this one. Now, there's something called a penny mat. So if you're new, I would recommend everybody have a penny mat or the image of a penny. Like you buy a penny mat, you take a picture of it, you put it on your screen, and if you're doing it the way I'm doing it, right? So 1956D, there is which it shows on the penny mat, there is a key variety 56, and it's called a D above shadow D. And I'll show you on my image of my penny mat what I'm talking about. 56D above shadow D. See? So I wouldn't have known that unless I was going to do, crazy research. See, the penny mat is a tool. And we're going to look for a shadow D. Which they look at. That would be crazy if there's a shadow D. I'm pretty sure it's a really valuable penny. I don't think this one has a shadow D. So there's a little bit of a problem with this one, and that's it's dirty. And of course, it's always dirty in the area where you think there's an error. That is, you know what Murphy's Law is? Murphy's Law is anything that can go wrong will go wrong. Well, on this channel, we have Jesse's Law. Jesse's Law is wherever you think there's an error near dirt, it's probably dirt. That's Jesse's Law. So inside, I'm going to zoom in a bit. Inside the date here, I'm going to put the light on. There, look between the 9 and the 5. You cannot tell me that doesn't look like a D. I'm going to get my pointer out. That's another tool. But it's not a tool you need. It's a tool I need. Between the 9 and the 5, I lost it in the light. Maybe it's too much light. Yeah, there's a little line there. I don't think that's where the shadow D goes. But of course, it looks like a D, and it's probably just dirt. And they have examples of, there it goes, right there. Or it could be here, but it's, of course, it's dirty, right? And we're looking for a D that looks like a shadow, but it's dirty there. So Jesse's Law is that, of course. And then what I use is, I use an alcohol pad. And I'm going to clean it. I don't recommend this to anybody. This is just what I do. I mean, how much is this coin worth? I mean, it's not mint or anything like that. But if there's a shadow D there, you have to find out there's a shadow D. And the right way to do it is through conservation, which I don't know if this would even be considered conservation or not. A lot of people get triggered when anything I do with a coin. So, what are you gonna do, right? But at this point, I'm already on it, so I might as well just clean the whole penny. So that's another thing about this channel is that I call pennies pennies. Some truists or numismatists call them cents, and that's another thing that they get triggered by. And to me, that's a bunch of nonsense. You get it? Nonsense. I made a coin joke. Nonsense. I made a coin joke on the fly. Right. So why do I call them pennies? Because the average person calls them pennies, and this channel is for the average Joe. This is not a channel for someone who who is aspiring to become a numismatist. They have classes for that, you know. And guess what? Banks call them pennies, right? If you go to a bank, you say, "Do you have 50 pennies? Do you have 100 pennies?" You don't go to a bank. "Excuse me, miss, can I get 56 cents, please?" You might say that, you know, but that's kind of weird. They say, "Can I get 56 pennies?" And this is what they call it. Every single penny roll calls them pennies. But some people get triggered by that because they're what I call purists, and I respect them. But you know, the problem with a purist is that they can get a little out of control sometimes, and and they get too deep about something that's they'll say, "Oh, you can't call it a penny, you have to call it a cent." But then when you say, "Hey, how much is this worth?" It's worth face value, so it's worth nothing. But you have to call it what they. It's that's what I say. People get too deep into this, so that's just for you to know. I call them pennies here. Sometimes I refer to them as a cent, but some people get triggered by it. So there's no shadow D. There's that little thing up there. It looks like I don't know, a mark, but I don't see a shadow D anywhere over here. And if I remember correctly, they're pretty obvious. Okay, so it's a nice penny. We have a wheat, and we looked at it now. Oh, we didn't look at the reverse. Okay, that's another beauty. Okay, so I went through all of that, right? About the channel. What else? I use these finger gloves. Why do I use them? Why do I use finger gloves instead of the long gloves? Well, they're cheaper. That's number one. Number two, the full hand gloves I find to be uncomfortable. See this one here? You see that little wrinkle? Watch this. Watch the wrinkle go away. Whoop. You just roll it down a little bit and you pull it, and the wrinkle, for the most part, goes away, especially on the bottom. So I wear the finger gloves. I've learned how to use them. They're a little uncomfortable at the beginning, but then all of a sudden you forget you even have them on. And I use them instead of. I started with regular gloves. Other people say like to use cotton gloves. Again, I don't like to go overboard. You know, Chris Coins, I think that's his name. He uses gloves. That's his shtick. So he uses uh and I don't know, even these gloves, it's not necessary, man. You're not gonna if you find $1 million penny and you put a fingerprint on it, yeah, you're gonna lower its value from $1 million to 900,000. But these are circulated pennies. They've been touched a million times already. You think one more time touching it with your fingers is gonna do anything to it? It's not. This one is in such awesome condition. So there is one other thing that I do. Ah, you kidding me? Let me see if that comes out. Come on, come off. Oh, man. Uh seriously? It might be a black spot. Wow, man. See, now that changes the condition of the penny. That little mark. Now, if a penny is in incredible condition, I will not put it into the MS pile. I'll put it into a flip, just because the condition is beyond. I mean, it's really sweet. Believe it or not, that little mark though, if that mark wasn't there, this could have been like an MS 66 maybe. Wow. All right, I'm still going to put it to the side. So I try to keep my videos at about a half an hour. I'll put this into the MS pile. Now, look, something on the reverb, you can see that it has some sort of, I mean, I noticed that just by going like this. Look, you see the shape? I wonder if that's a die clash. You can see the shape of the head. Yeah. Looks like you can see the shape of Lincoln's head there. No, it's too big. That's not his head. Just weird. Okay, I don't know what it is, but that'll go into the MS pile. We have a lot of MS pennies in this. I try to keep the videos to a half an hour long because I lose retention, believe it or not, after about 10-15 minutes. And at that point, the only people who are really watching the video are my members or the really dedicated subscribers. See this penny? The alcohol patch just about dry. They dry quick. But look, a little, it was very dirty a second ago. And to me, this is more like conservation. Look how much nicer it looks. Now, those might be fingerprint marks from when the penny was first made in 1978. Because since 1978 to today, thousands and thousands of people have touched this, probably. And I just made it a little bit cleaner. I could tell it was just dirt on the surface. What a beauty. 78D. It's not a key variety or anything like that. Just a beauty. So with these mostly copper penny rolls, it takes a little bit longer to. I'm going to check that out. I'm going to check out the date real quick under the loop. There's a mark on the 7. I don't know if that's special or not. I'll put it to the top. They take longer than the zincs. It's just the way it is. They take longer than the zinc pennies. I don't know if that'll come out. It might. Nah. Something like that, you might need a chemical to try to take that off. And it's so beautiful on the reverse that it's actually worth cleaning because of that detracts from the grade so much. I don't know if it even matters if you try to get rid of it. I don't know if it does or not. And if there was an error on this, maybe I'd be real careful about that. That's a beauty. I'm gonna put it. I just put it with the MS pennies, and we're about halfway through. Oh wow! Look at this, man. That's a collar error. A collar is what holds the penny in place at the mint, and when the collar gets old or has a problem, you'll get some errors on the rim. So this is the rim, right? That's the rim, right? And you can see the rim there is split. That's because the collar got deformed, right? The little ring that holds the penny in place, coin in place, got deformed, and it started to push the copper up from the edge. The edge is this. The collar is that. The edge is here. This is the obverse. This is the reverse. This is the edge. The edge is known as the third side. One side, two sides, three sides. And the collar holds the penny in place while it gets smashed by the hammer and anvil. The hammer is the one that makes the head, and the anvil is what makes the image of the tail. 67 is not a key variety. And when the collar, after thousands and thousands of uses, it'll start to get deformed, deteriorate, and you'll start getting errors like this. This one is not worth anything, but some of them are. But you just have to be able to recognize them. And that's another thing I do on this channel. I try to recognize and instruct our viewers on the simple to learn errors and terminology, right? So 99.9% of you are not going to become numismatists. But the other 99.9 who are on this channel can learn about basic errors. And that's what I'm trying to do here. So we're over a half hour. Again, part of that's because of all the talking that I did, because we have a new member, and also to say thank you to the M&T Bank that gave us this penny roll. But this is going to be episode 238, part 1. And I'm going to finish this roll, which is a lot of pennies. We're going to finish this roll episode, and they're all copper. So that's the reason why we're doing 2 episodes. It'll take another half hour, 45 minutes to go through them. We'll finish this episode and this penny roll in episode 239, part 2. And this penny I'm going to put into the AU pile over here. So we have 2 fines, 1 AU, and then we have all of these MS pennies. Now the next roll for the next video will go over here and over here, not to get mixed up with the other pennies from episode 238. Okay, so, and there's one last thing that I do, and then this will be I was going to say a tour de force. It'll be a complete video. Okay, so maybe you'll catch it. Those of you who watch my videos know what I'm going to do now, and the other ones are going to learn, I guess. And I'm doing this in a little bit of a weird way because I don't usually do it this way. Okay, so if you watch all my videos, you know what's going on. If you don't, then maybe you'll get a little bit of a chuckle. All right, so take care. God bless, and I'll see you in the next one. Oh, wow. Wow. What's going on over here? Is this thing still on? Oh, man, did I forget it was on? Okay. So this is an outro, right? The intro is at the beginning of the video, the outro is at the end of the video. I do not do outros on a regular basis, but we have a new member, and I'm really in this whole give special thanks to the M&T Bank for those super duper penny rolls. So I'm doing a special outro, and then what I do is I pretend like I forgot the camera was on, and I touch the desk in front of the microphone. So again, thank you to all our members. Imagine the day when we have 100 members and I can't even remember everyone's name, and I have to go with some sort of a list or something like that. That would be incredible. Will we ever get to that point? I don't know. I don't want to say I don't care. What I do care about is that little banner with 8 subscribers. And I'm telling you, we're gonna need 12 or 13, because you could have a mass exodus and lose 4 or 5, and then we'll lose the banner. So I'm really hoping for that, 15, 20 type of membership, and then we'll keep the banner, and then the banner rotates the members' names. So if you got 10 every other month you'll see your name, and everybody who watches every single video, thousands and thousands of videos, will see. Well, that's not true. I don't think you see the banner in the shorts. Oh yeah, yeah, you'll see the banner if you're watching it. Do you see it? I don't know, but in the long, if you go into the channel, you will see the banner. I guess that's anybody who clicks on the channel will see it, regardless if it's a short or not. So the thousands and thousands of people who view the channel, not the video, the channel, will see, like, who go to look through the playlists and stuff like that, and the videos, the popular to the latest, the longest, and all that. Then you'll see the banner with the members' name. So thank you to all the members. Of course, thank you to Tina, our newest member. Thank you to the M&T Bank from Mahanoy City. I really appreciate it. Swell bunch of ladies there, super duper awesome. I could tell they have a good working relationship. You know, some of these other banks I go to, that's not true. Most of them do. Some banks you get an energy. You know, when you go into a bank, and that bank specifically, shout out to them. Very good energy in that bank. Thank you and God bless. And here I'm going to start. Look, I'm at 36 minutes now. I'm going to start episode, but this is for anybody who's still here. Most people check out already after 10 minutes, so it doesn't really matter. This is really for special things like new members and announcements and stuff like that. All right, so we're going to go to episode 239 now, and we'll finish off that anyway. God bless.